In this video, I want to go over the view of your roster here on your home page. So, and you can see this for any team, but this is we're going to look at this from the perspective of, hey, this is my team, and these are the things that I want to look for. So, as you can see, we have on the roster, we have our entire roster listed here, all the positions, and we kind of talked a little bit about this in the last video, as far as the name, the position, experience, weight, height, the health of the player, his opinion of you. Real briefly, the opinion of you is basically influenced by how well you treat the player. A player's opinion of you will decline if he is not playing and he feels like he should be playing. If he's playing in a position that he feels like he would be better at another position, you can start a wide receiver at fullback, but he's probably not going to be happy about that. And so as his opinion of you improves, it improves as he gets starts and gets plays under his belt. It degrades as he doesn't play or doesn't play where he would like to play. And as it degrades, it will eventually get to the point where he will just not sign with you again. So if you see him get down to unhappy and then livid, angry and then livid, he's not going to sign with you. He'll also get upset with you if you cut him, which makes it really difficult to re-sign him. You can't easily cut a player and then sign him immediately. If you trade him, he'll get upset. So these are some things to think of as you're seeing his opinion. We talked about his volatility and his ratings. We'll talk a little bit more about what these ratings actually mean in the next video, but right now I'm just talking about some of these views in the roster. So if we want to look at another view of the roster, we can look at the contracts of our players. So as you can see, this view lists each player, their cap cost, and how much you would save if you were to release them. And so this is useful if you are in cap trouble. You might sort this by the save if release and kind of see who you can cut. Now the amount that you're going to save if you release is his base salary for the current year. And as the season goes through the rest of the season, that does become prorated over the 16 games. So the later in the season, the smaller this number becomes. We also have his progress overview. Now I've mentioned in the last video about how his ratings will go up and down throughout his career, and he'll typically go on a pretty one direction. If he starts his career rising, he will probably continue to rise. And so this gives you an overview of, well, let's see, since the beginning of the career of these players' careers, this is the players who have had the greatest improvement, and this is the players that have had the greatest drop. And then we can also sort this by the current season to see who our best improved players and our least improved players are. So that's useful when you're kind of evaluating, hey, are these players improving or are they not? We have an option here for who's not in your depth chart. This only is really going to apply if you have players that aren't in your depth chart, which it looks like Kansas City has a handful of players that aren't in their depth chart, so we might want to put these guys in our depth chart. So that's handy when you're building your depth chart, just to make sure that you have every player in that you have on your roster. And then the rest of these are just attribute views based on position or just the general attributes. So if we wanted to see who our fastest player was, well, we can look at the speed value attribute on the roster page here. If we want to see who our most disciplined player is, and then of course we can look at it specifically based on attributes for the position. In our next video, we're going to talk about these attributes and about the positions and how the attributes are mapped to the positions, which in turn gets us our details and our actual overall current and future ratings and what those mean.